channel after news channel after news channel. Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
Look at me. I don't even know why I just said look at me. I think it's because I looked at myself. I've shaved. The beard is gone. I was going to go with a sweet stash, but my wife wasn't having it, you know. And I did remember the only time in my life that I ever had a mustache, and it lasted approximately, I would say, a couple of hours before. Long story, whatever. I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, how you guys doing? This show is called Wake Up America. I have 57 minutes to get through what a hellish day Monday has been. I mean, not for me, actually. My day has been pretty good, but Monday, the stock market's crashed. The national fuel price keeps on rising. The J6 committee was a shit show. 12 mass shootings in 48 hours. All that and more on this episode of Wake Up America. But first, my name's Steve. I'm going to be with you for the next 56 minutes. Hopefully you guys are fastened up to your real news seatbelts, okay? Fastened down like sitting in the chair. Because I have a doozy of an opening news story that many of you guys probably didn't even know yet. And this is going to make your heads kind of explode. Yeah, like I say that a lot, but I think your heads are going to kind of explode today. I seriously think they will. Anyway, this show is sponsored by Spartan Armor Systems. Spartan Armor Systems is a Tucson, Arizona-based body armor manufacturer. In addition to body armor, they also have t-shirts, hats, medical pouches, targets. They got literally everything. Go over to SpartanArmorSystems.com and use code YEET. That is YEET twice, and you get 5% off your order. It's a hell of a deal. Great company, a very patriotic company, and they've been sponsoring our shows as long as we've been doing them. So go check them out, SpartanArmorSystems.com. Use code YEET, get 5% off your order. Okay, did you guys hear the news about Sean Hannity? Holy fire engines. Oh, that was a tanker. That's not even from our area. We don't have a tanker in our area because we have fire hydrants. So they're bringing a tanker somewhere. That means, well, we got a good old fire going somewhere. It's probably from the next town down. Anyway, Sean Hannity. How many of you guys heard this crazy ass story by Business Insider? He's done. Stick a fork in him. He's done. Sean Hannity reportedly pitched a last-minute pardon for Hunter Biden to Donald Trump in an attempt to ease the fallout of the Capitol riot, according to new leaked text messages from the January 6th committee. We knew that we weren't going to get a lot of good information from the J6 committee, but damn, this is pretty good. Fox News host Sean Hannity suggested that President Donald Trump should pardon Hunter Biden in a bid to, quote, smooth things over following the January 6, 2021 riots, according to the Daily Beast. The House Select Committee investigating Capitol riots released text messages on Thursday between Sean Hannity and then Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, in which the conservative news host discussed the details of his conversation with Trump on January 7th following the attack on the Capitol. Hannity and Trump were apparently discussing ways to address the potential fallout in the wake of hundreds of pro-Trump supporters breaching the Capitol in an attempt to riot. I'm changing the story because they always put their political bias in it. According to one text message from Hannity, one pitch in particular seemed to pique the interest of the former president's interest, or pique the interest of the former president. issuing a last-minute presidential pardon for Hunter Biden, the son of President-elect Joe Biden. And keep in mind, this wouldn't have happened. They would have had to give him immunity because he wasn't convicted of anything. You can't pardon someone before a conviction. You could only grant them blanket immunity, which would, you know what I mean? Like, so the talk about the pardons here are kind of stupid. That's why the J6 committee keeps talking about the pardons, because not a lot of people, you can't get pardoned for something that you haven't been convicted of doing. You can only be given blanket immunity from the things that they say you did. Anyway, according to these text messages to McEnany, Hannity apparently wrote he was intrigued by the pardon idea, exclamation, 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 and then, quote, Hunter. Hunter Biden's business dealings in Ukraine were at the center of Trump's pressure campaign on the Ukrainian government in 2019, which led to the former president's first impeachment in early 2020. Though he currently faces a federal investigation, Hunter Biden has not been charged and denied any wrongdoing. A source told the Daily Beast that the pardon suggestion wasn't originally Hannity's ideas, but he brought it to Trump because he genuinely wanted some healing in the country. Another person familiar with the conversation between Hannity and Trump told the Daily Beast that Hannity proposed that the pardon might help smooth things over, but the idea was ultimately shut down. It died on the vine, the person said, saying it was probably never seriously considered. Representatives from Fox News did not comment to Business Insider's request for a comment. Presidential pardons appear to be one of the few power moves in the Trump playbook, and then it goes on to talk about the January 6th pardon, and apparently Representative Scott Perry of Pennsylvania said he contacted the White House in the weeks after January 6th to seek a presidential pardon for crimes not committed, therefore a pardon couldn't be issued anyway. But man, really? Yes, the Citizen Stringer apps on Roku are not working. They're not working on any of our apps. I have a meeting with them in a little bit. Not tonight. In this upcoming week. They were sick. To try to get those rebuilt. Otherwise, we're just going to rebuild them ourselves. And it's going to do it. I'm going to do it at my leisure. But you can always watch on citizenstringer.com under the live stream section, or just listen on Citizen Stringer Radio on the TuneIn app. Anyway, so that's pretty interesting. I don't think Hannity is going to even bring it up. That's my personal opinion. I don't think Sean Hannity, which if you think about it, he should bring it up, because how many times in the past year and a half has Sean Hannity compared or, just brought up Hunter Biden? Sean Hannity wanted to he was pressuring President Trump to give Hunter Biden a presidential pardon. A presidential pardon. Like, you can't even make this up. These people are all corrupt. Today, during the January 6th commission, we had a Fox, who was it? It was a Fox News business editor or something like that, political editor, Fox News political editor, a former one that was talking about how, Trump didn't win the election, blah, 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 and he's a uniform, blah, 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 blah. Fucking moron. Everybody knows everyone knows there's some shady stuff going on in general. Just the whole thing, from politicians to elections to COVID to lockdowns to crime rate. There's some shady shit going on in 2020 and 2021. No one is going to dispute that fact. Again, I'll say for clarity, I'm not a big fan of the riot on January 6th because, well, it was a riot. No matter which way you frame it, it was a riot. People committed crimes, therefore they should do the time. But I believe in due process, and locking people up on misdemeanor charges in solitary confinement for months and months and months does not help anybody. With that said, we watched approximately 2 hours or 2.5 hours today of testimony. It wasn't even testimony. 2 hours of hearsay, and the second public hearing of the J6 committee meeting, where they basically were just trying to say that Donald Trump did not win the election, and he used his election, and they knew he didn't win the election, meaning Donald Trump and his team knew he didn't win the election, and therefore everything that they did, in terms of fundraising and all the court challenges and all that, they were all just to raise money. That's essentially what the Democrats are alleging today. And I say Democrats because it is a partisan committee. Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are not Republicans. Well, maybe they are Republicans, because all Republicans kind of have no backbone nowadays. Didn't you guys hear that backboneless Republicans have apparently worked out a deal to make it harder for you to get your guns? That's apparently coming down in the Senate, and we don't know any specifics on it, but apparently 10 Republicans, including Lindsey Graham, have signed on with this restrictive gun control measure that's apparently going to be introduced into the Senate or the House in the next couple of days. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. But again, just, spineless Republicans in politics. They don't care about you. I've said that a long time. It doesn't matter. And here's the truth. Democrats don't care about you either. Republicans and Democrats, they don't care. Anyone that works in Washington, you lose all credibility the second that you are elected. That's just my personal opinion right now. But yeah, the J6 committee meeting today was stupid. We heard testimony from a bunch of people. It was the same thing as last Thursday, where they take, different segments of what people said and they cut them and paste them and do like a CNN news article on it where they just regurgitate nonsense to you, leaving out anything that may give actual context to what the statement is that they're trying to make. And instead, they just push their agenda using manipulated media. Most people would know that from watching it, especially if you have an eye for the all things shit. You would know that what's going on in the J6 committee and all that is just complete and utter garbage. A lot of people seemingly don't care. They just hate Trump that much that they're going to blindly follow whatever the J6 committee says. And that's kind of what seems to be going on now is they're just blindly following. And everyone's like, oh, like the Steve Schmidt guy who's a Democrat op, says he's a Republican, but he's not. That dude is, he's something else. He's like, this is the end of MAGA. MAGA isn't Donald Trump. Just so anyone understands, the people that want to care, MAGA is everybody. MAGA is people that care about America. It's make America great again. It's not Donald Trump. It's not, any of the other politicians that are running on an American first ideology or anything like that. You know what it is? It's people that care about this country. It's been hijacked by the left in all reality to villainize it. So now if you care about America, if you wear an American flag, God forbid you have "We the People" tattooed anywhere on you, you're automatically labeled a white supremacist or a radical far rightist or anything like that. It doesn't matter what your actual politics are, which is, it's mildly entertaining, to be honest. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens with all that because, frankly, nobody really knows what's going to happen. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with the J6 committee. Now, I did hear Raskin on his Sunday shows, where he said that they're looking for the DOJ to actually charge Donald Trump for something. I don't know what they're going to be able to do. And what's really funny is a lot of these people, and here's proof that the Democrats know that they're lying and manipulating things, because all of the evidence they've presented thus far, every bit of the evidence, every bit of like the things that you could be like, whoa, that's damning. It's all hearsay. It would be inadmissible in court. It's all like, oh, so-and-so said this. You can't use that. I mean, that's like me saying, hey, guess what? I saw a unicorn today on the way to work. You can't, nobody can prove that I did or didn't see a unicorn. That's why it's not allowed in court. This whole thing is just about hearsay. It's about pushing a particular narrative. It's about that, and that's all it is. It's not about getting to the bottom of what actually happened on January 6th. We know there was a riot. We know that people died as a result of that. Not police officers or anything like that. There were 2 people that died at the hands of police that day. Okay? Everybody knows that. Nobody wants to talk about it, but everybody knows that there were 2, women that were killed by police officers that day. And Roseanne Boyland, a lot of people are going to be like, no, she died of a drug overdose. I witnessed her on video getting beaten by a female police officer with a baton. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care, why they cremated her body so quickly before the family could get there. I don't care about any of that. They killed her, and that's my personal opinion on that. Anyway, what else? I don't even know, man. There's so much. The Dow tanked today horribly. U.S. stocks have plunged in a bear market as Wall Street investors grew increasingly nervous about the prospect of even harsher medicine from the Fed to take the sting out of inflation. The Dow sank 876 points, or 2.8%. The Nasdaq was down by 4.7% and has tumbled more than 10% in the last two trading sessions. The broader S&P 500 fell 3.9%. That index is now more than 20% below its all-time high set in January, putting stocks in a bear market. Recession fears mounted after Friday's miserable consumer price index showed the U.S. inflation was significantly higher than economists had expected last month. That can make the Federal Reserve's inflation control efforts more difficult. After raising the rates by half point in May, in action the Fed hasn't taken since 2000, Chair Jerome Powell pledged more of the same until central bank was satisfied that inflation was under control. At that point, the Fed would resume standard quarter point hikes, he said. But after Monday's hotter than expected inflation report, Wall Street is increasingly calling for tougher action from the Fed in order to keep prices under control. Jefferies joined Barclays on Monday in predicting that the Federal Reserve would hike rates by 0.75 of a percentage point, in action the Fed hasn't taken since 1994. After holding their breath for nearly a week awaiting the U.S. CPI report in May, investors exhaled in exasperation as inflation came in hotter than expected, said Sam Stovall, chief investment strategist at CFRA. And that was in a note to clients on Monday morning. He said the risk of larger hikes dragging the markets lower on Monday. Investors fear two outcomes, neither of them good. Higher rates mean bigger borrowing costs for businesses, which can eat into their bottom line. And overly zealous action from the Fed can unintentionally plunge the U.S. economy into a recession, especially if businesses start laying off workers and the red-hot housing market crumbles, which is what's going to happen. I mean, let's stop beating around the bush and understand that we as a country right now and our economy is fucked. Instead of investing in our own economy, what do? We give billions of dollars to other economies. We give billions of dollars to fund overseas wars that we shouldn't be involved in. We brought this upon ourselves. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. I'm not an economist. I got a message from someone today, and they're like, I checked my 401k today, and I was down I've lost $23,000 in the past year. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I think I would even have a better rate of return here. Maybe I should just on Citizen Stringer. Maybe I should just do equity crowdfunding right now. Because, this is crazy. Our country is falling apart. Everybody's losing their livelihoods. Luckily for me, I pulled out the last bit of money in the stock market 3 weeks ago. I lost about a couple of $1,000, but I knew it wasn't gonna go up anymore. Now crypto is losing a lot of people. I saw one person, I won't say what her name is, but they've lost a lot in crypto, and yet now they're just keeping it in because they're like, what do we do? Do we just pull it out and lose everything, or do we just wait and hope it rebounds so we can just try to recover some of the losses that we've had? It's freaking insane. Someone said, someone in the chat said, I'm just going to start doing drugs. I don't know. I was telling my wife, maybe it is a good time to become an alcoholic. I'm just kidding. But yeah, our economy is doing pretty bad right now. Everything's doing pretty bad. Small businesses are hurting. A lot of people say they aren't, but I feel it. I run a small business and we're hurting. We are struggling to stay afloat, as a small news outlet. Granted, I'm just going to make some changes and do things that some people aren't going to like. You're going to see a lot more advertisements and stuff in the future, but we have no choice. This is what we have to do to survive. We're lucky where we have multiple different revenue streams coming in. So when the news side slows down, we can ramp up on coffee or clothing or the physical store and try to recover and try to do it. I haven't lost my, for a while I was losing I think it was just because of everything that was going on with the house and all that stuff. But we laid down the new floor in the living room, and now I'm rejuvenated. I'm ready to go punch somebody. I'm not kidding right there. Anyway, speaking of not kidding, do you guys know we sell coffee? What's up, guys? Do you like coffee, but you're tired of the shitty Folgers coffee that you buy at your grocery chain? Or are you tired of the wokeness of all these Patriot coffee companies online? Well, check out Pure Truth Coffee Company. You can visit puretruthcoffee.com and order 6 blends. That's what we carry because we don't want to overdo your taste buds. So we have 6 blends of the best coffee. We have Harlem's Finest, where 100% of the proceeds go towards New York City police charities. We've got Awake Not Woke. You know why? Well, because fuck the woke. We've got, what do we got? French Vanilla. It's nice. Smells really great. We got the Wake Up America Breakfast Blend. We've got the Pardon My French Roast. And then we have, if you're a real caffeine addict, we have our signature Flying High octane coffee. Don't drink if you have heart issues because it'll kick your ass. Check it out, puretruthcoffee.com, puretruthcoffee.com, puretruthcoffee.com. Anyway, welcome back. My name is Steve. The show is called Wake Up America. We're going to talk about your mass shooting report. I did see one question in the chat. It's like, Steve, how much of your own coffee did you drink today? I didn't. I went to the gym. I'm still sweating. I actually switched this shirt back on from the gym shirt, and I'm sweating my butt off right now. But, yeah, you got to do what you got to do. I just literally got back from the gym, kicked on the live feed, and here we are. Because the gym is in this town, whereas I live 20 miles away, so I couldn't go to the gym. And I'll be honest, I haven't been able to go to the gym in a while because I've been on babysitting duty. But today, maybe that's the reason why I'm so happy. Today was my wife's last day for the summer. She is off for the summer, which means I get to resume, getting back here, reporting the news, have a better show. You know what I mean? Getting all caught up, getting everything situated. I'm sweating. It's hot. I don't care who you are right here. It's hot outside. It's hot as hell. Speaking of hot, mass shooting galore over the weekend. From Saturday morning to last night at midnight, there were 12 mass shootings across the United States. We're going to talk about some of those mass shootings because, well, no one else does. Well, they do, if it's a white guy. They don't talk about it otherwise. So the mass shooting we're going to talk about is one I'm going to work as most recent to the end. You know what I'm saying? See how I did that? Yeah. New Orleans last night, 4 people are in the hospital after a shooting in Mid-City early Sunday morning, actually, so I'm reading it backwards. But according to the New Orleans Police Department, the police department said they received a call just before 4 a.m. of a shooting in the 3900 block of Tulane Avenue after 4 men arrived at a local hospital suffering from different gunshot wounds. The injuries include wounds to the neck, the knee, the elbow, and the hand of all the different 4 victims. The victims' conditions are not known at the time. Ricky Ricard, not to be confused with Ricky Ricardo, Ricky Ricard, a general manager of the Three Palms Bar and Grill, said, "We heard a lot of shooting. We didn't know exactly where it was coming from, but we knew it was close because there was a lot. We came outside after making sure everybody was safe." Ricard said police arrived quickly and that the shooting may have happened at Club Pressure, which is located across the street from Three Palms Bar and Grill. They said it didn't happen on the inside, it happened on the outside, and unfortunately, you can have security everywhere, he said. He says Saturday night typically brings a packed crowd for the area, but shootings do not normally happen, saying the businesses here actually do a pretty good job of maintaining decorum in the neighborhood. But I understand that sometimes stuff happens regardless. No suspect information is available. No motive is known for the shooting outside of, well, there was a club, and if there's a club on a Saturday night in the city, guess what that means? Someone's gonna get shot. Also, authorities on Monday identified 2 of the 3 men who were fatally shot during a party at a warehouse in Boyle Heights. Now, this was Boyle Heights in California, Los Angeles. Oh, hold on, press the wrong button. Firefighters and paramedics were sent to a party where the shooting was reported in the 3300 block of East 14th Street about 12:30 a.m. on Sunday. The Los Angeles Fire Department was the one who reported. Randy Tyson, 25, and Daniel Dunbar, 27, both of Los Angeles, died at the scene, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office reported. Another man died at the hospital, according to Los Angeles Police Department. One person was hospitalized in critical condition, 2 others were hospitalized in stable condition, and a 4th was treated and released, according to the LAPD. No arrests are reported, no motive is known for the shooting, and they do not have a suspect in custody. Also, another mass shooting, Roseville, Michigan. Just in case you didn't know, 4 people were shot Sunday during what police say was a domestic dispute. The investigation into the shooting is ongoing. Police were called at about 5:15 p.m. Sunday to a location in the 27,000 block of Kelly Road near 11 Mile and Gratiot for reports of shots fired. Officers secured the scene and rendered aid to the wounded. And then I'm not paying for this article, so I don't know the rest of what happened there. In Gary, Indiana, 2 people were killed, 4 people injured when gunmen opened fire. Hold on, let me turn off my ad blocker. See, we don't do any of this stuff. We're real news. All these other news outlets, they got ad blockers and you got to subscribe to read the news. We don't do none of that. Maybe we should. Maybe that's what I got to start doing. Anyway, Gary, Indiana's mayor, Jerome Prince, has ordered the immediate closure of a nightclub where 6 people were shot too fatally early yesterday morning. The shootings occurred at Playos nightclub in the 1700 block of Grant Street, police said. Jonte Dorsey, a 34-year-old man from Joliet, Illinois, and Janice Quinn, a 26-year-old woman from Maryville, were declared deceased at a local hospital, according to the coroner's office. That's a hard word for me to say. 4 additional people were injured. According to Gary police, they were dispatched to reports of shots fired around 1:57 a.m. Sunday morning. Upon arrival, police observed an unresponsive 34-year-old male, Dorsey, and an unresponsive 26-year-old female, Quinn. They were both transported to a hospital by Gary medics, but were later declared deceased. One of the other gunshot victims, one remains in critical condition, and 3 others appear to have non-life-threatening injuries. The shooting victims were all transported to several area hospitals. On Sunday night, Prince ordered the immediate closure of the club under Section 2-54 of the Gary Municipal Code. In addition, the club's business license is pending investigation for potential suspension and revocation. Prince also released a statement in support of the victims, saying, "First, on behalf of the city of Gary, we are praying for the families and friends of the 2 people who lost their lives at Playos nightclub on Saturday night. I cannot imagine the pain you're feeling. And I truly wish..." Hold on, it's like popping ads up all over the place. "And I truly wish I could offer words to comfort you. We are also sending prayers for full healing for those who were injured. Next, it is well beyond our time for our national leaders to pass common sense, real legislation that curbs easy access to firearms," he said. Most likely the person that was behind the gun was not a legal gun owner, because as we see, most of the times, 97% of the time, they're not legal gun owners, and in fact, the gun is not a legal gun anyway. But, I mean, those are just facts that mainstream media doesn't like to report. Also yesterday, where was this? Indianapolis, Indiana, a woman was paralyzed after being shot at a party early yesterday morning. 3 other people were also injured. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department arrested 19-year-old Rihanna Lee on a preliminary charge of attempted murder. Officers were called to the 9200 block of Sussex Terrace just before 1:30 a.m. on Sunday. That's just southeast of the Post Road exit on I-70, if any of you guys were curious. Officers arrived to find 2 women who had been shot. 2 more women later walked into an East Side hospital after being shot. According to court documents acquired by local news affiliate News 8, a neighbor recorded a video of the shooting and showed it to police. Police say the video shows a fight between 2 of the women who were shot, and then a woman with red hair pulls out a gun and shoots at them. At least 40 shots are audible in the video. Officers say they found shell casings from a handgun and a rifle. IMPD says Lee was driven to the hospital just before 2:30 p.m. with a graze wound to the hip. Police say she matched the description of the shooter, so she was taken in for questioning. After being cleared by hospital staff, court documents also state there was a rifle with a drum magazine in plain view in the back seat of her car when she arrived to the hospital. When she was arrested, IMPD said Lee was recorded on body-worn camera saying, "You ain't got my guns, you ain't got nothing." According to the investigators, one of the shooting victims is a teenage girl. Police say one of the victims is believed to be paralyzed and the other is in critical condition. Online jail records indicate that this scumbag has an initial court appearance tomorrow morning. Crazy story. But again, that's not even close to, we're not even halfway done yet. In Denver, Colorado, I believe this was on Saturday, 2 people were killed and 4 others wounded in a shooting in South Denver early Sunday. Fuck, they put the fucking restrictions on the article. Why do they do that? I think I'm putting all our articles behind a paywall. I don't care. They maybe that's how they actually all survive. Is that what we're doing wrong on Citizen Stringer? Anyway, Denver, Colorado, 2 people killed, 4 people injured in a mass shooting. Austin, Texas, also on Saturday, a person is dead and 3 others were injured following a shooting in Northwest Austin on Sunday night. Actually, this is yesterday night. Austin Police Department, APD, and the Williamson County Sheriff's Office responded to the incident around 7:20 p.m. in the 12600 block of Oro Valley Trail after receiving reports of a shooting. APD also reported that a car had crashed into a fence along the road in connection to the shooting. The driver of the car was pronounced dead at the scene, and 2 others were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Officials said the driver of the car was shot. Another person was also shot and hospitalized and is expected to be okay. That person was not in the car with the driver and 2 others. Officials say the shooting was between groups of people and started at Modena Trail as a verbal altercation. One of the groups left the scene in the car. It's unknown how many people were in the second car. Authorities said that Williamson County Sheriff's deputies would take the lead on the investigation, but no motive is known for the shooting and no suspect is in custody. Common theme. That's not it. Detroit, Michigan, 4 people were shot at a bachelor party on Saturday night. Those 4 were shot at that bachelor party on Detroit's west side early Saturday morning at an Airbnb rental in the blocker Cloverland near West Davison and Wyoming. Now, everyone talks about gun control and how if you remove guns, legal guns, then they won't get in the hands of the illegal people that are possessing said guns. I say we ban Airbnbs. If there wasn't an Airbnb bachelor party, these people likely would not have been shot at an Airbnb. So therefore, ban Airbnb. Hashtag ban Airbnb. Anyway, police say a large group of people were at the party when an unknown suspect armed with a rifle drove by and fired multiple shots into the home. There were about 10 people inside the bachelor party, some inside, some outside on the porch, said Detroit Police Commander Tiffany Stewart. 4 men in their 30s were struck by gunfire, police said. One of the men was listed in critical condition while the others suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Stewart said it's a travesty. There's been an uptick in violence, you think? Multiple shootings across the country, she said. Okay. No motive is known for the shooting. No suspect is in custody. That's not it. In Antioch, Tennessee, 2 people were killed. 2 people were injured at a pool party, of all places. 2 men are dead. 2 others are injured following a shooting at an apartment complex on Bell Road late Saturday night. Apparently, the shooting happened just after 10 p.m. in the 6600 block of Bell Road at Cambridge at Hickory Hollow Apartments. According to Metro Police, the exchange of gunfires believed to be connected to a birthday party was taking place near the pool area at the apartment complex. Officers said the first gunshot was fired around 10:10 p.m., which led people running, and some others drew their own weapons, started shooting at each other too. As officers arrived on the scene, they discovered multiple cars exiting the apartment complex. Officials have identified the deceased as 20-year-old Calem Buford and 18-year-old DeMonte Garden. Police say Garden died in an apartment complex parking lot, and Buford was dropped off by private vehicle at a local hospital. The 2 other men were shot, are facing non-life-threatening wounds, according to Metro Police. One of the men is a 21-year-old who is free on a $15,000 bond, awaiting trial for the murder of a 16-year-old girl back in 2017. The other is a 31-year-old resident at the complex who was struck in the leg when he mistakenly took the gunfire for fireworks and came outside to ask for it to stop. At this time, officers are pursuing active leads to determine what led to the exchange of fatal gunfire. Any information is you're asked to contact the local Crime Stoppers. That sucks. The guy is just sitting there. He's watching like 24 or something. And all of a sudden he thinks, God, those damn kids are lighting fireworks off. He goes out, hey, can you shut the fireworks down? And then he gets shot in the leg. Isn't it weird, too, that the other victim, who's not suffering non-life-threatening wounds, is out? Did I read that right? Did I say $15,000 bond for a murder of a 16-year-old? Hold on. I just read what what the hell? Did I just read that right? The other two men who were shot were facing non-life-threatening wounds. One of the men is a 21-year-old who is free on a $15,000 bond awaiting trial for the murder of a 16-year-old girl. $15,000 bond? What the fuck? He's free on a $15,000 April. This is Antioch, Tennessee. Let's find out who that scumbag is. He's free on a $15,000 bond awaiting trial for the murder of a 16-year-old girl. God. Unbelievable. Anyway, Chicago, Illinois, you thought we were done. We're not even done. There's still several more. One person was killed, 4 others wounded in a shooting in Auburn, Gresham. This is in Chicago's south side. According to police, 4 men were in an alley in the 8600 block of South Damon in the Auburn, Gresham neighborhood around 3:30 p.m. when a vehicle drove by and someone inside fired shots at the men. Police said a 23-year-old man was shot in the leg and foot and taken to the hospital in critical condition. He was later pronounced dead. One of the men, 39 years old, was shot in the leg and taken to the hospital in good condition. A 42-year-old male was shot multiple times and taken to the hospital in fair condition. And a 19-year-old who was taken to the hospital was stabilized. A 4th man was also wounded and taken to the hospital in fair condition. His age is not known. Police are investigating. It's Chicago, so of course no one is in custody. No motive is known for the shooting outside of, well, it's Chicago on a weekend. Louisville, Kentucky is also getting dirty. 5 teenagers were taken to the hospital after a shooting near the Big 4 Bridge on Saturday night, according to the Louisville Metro Police Department. LMPD Major Brian Kruger said police responded to a report of a shooting near the Big 4 Bridge around 9:05 p.m. Police found 3 teenagers with gunshot wounds, all of whom were taken to University Hospital. Kruger said the teenagers were taken to the hospital. I just said that. LMPD spokesperson Alicia Smiley said one of the victims is in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. LMPD originally reported that one teenager has died, but later retracted that report, saying due to the chaotic events at the scene, earlier reports indicated that one individual had died. LMPD seriously apologizes for the confusion that this may have caused. Police say an additional 2 victims later arrived at the hospital by private means with what's believed to be non-life-threatening injuries after being shot. Kruger said, we know the park was filled with a lot of people. Parents, please, on the weekends, we enjoy the fact that juveniles are coming down here and enjoying the park, but they need to be supervised. We need to have supervision because, well, this is Louisville. And remember, the only lives in Louisville that don't matter are the innocent children. I'm just saying. I mean, just facts. That's truthfully. How many kids have died? Weren't kids shot and killed, right? A 16-year-old shot and killed while waiting for the bus at 6:50 in the morning. Louisville Metro BLM chapter didn't go out there and march. No, they didn't. But they did march and protest for days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months for Breonna Taylor. You know, Breonna Taylor, who was shot by police officers when they were serving a drug warrant and her boyfriend shot at them. Yeah, whatever. Facts, nobody likes them. But more kids are dying in city streets across America every single day, and seemingly the only people that care about them are, well, us. And then our last mass shooting, which was Saturday morning, Atlanta, Georgia, Adams' neck of the woods. An investigation is underway after police say multiple people were shot at a large party in South Fulton late Saturday night. And police officials say officers responded to a residence in the 6500 block of Woodford Road around 11:15 p.m. after reports of multiple people shot. Officials say a large party was held at the residence where an unknown person began shooting at party attendees. 7 victims were rushed to a nearby hospital, and one of them had critical injuries. Detectives are investigating. There is no suspect information available. No motive is known for the shooting. And then I guess I'll just include Friday night's mass shooting as well. One person was killed, 3 others were injured at the Del Cab Mall. Actually, I can't read that because it's behind a paywall. I think I am going to put a paywall on my website. Why the hell not? Every other news outlet does that. I should do it. It would only be for the people who aren't, yeeters and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Crazy stuff, man. That's every day in America. We'll be right back.
I work for a federal agency. I've been doing this job for over 23 years. When I come home from work, what's rewarding to me is that I know that I'm out there serving and protecting the citizens of the United States. My job can be dangerous. There's conflict, aggression, and sometimes life-threatening situations. On June 12th, 2018, I was patrolling near a mountain range and I heard a noise in the gravel. I turned and I saw 2 muzzle flashes. It was clear it was an ambush. I was shot 6 times. Getting shot feels like 1,000 needles penetrating your body. I felt immense heat, and then later the pain kicked in, and I had to do everything I could to save my own life. I survived because I was wearing my body armor. If not, my wife would be a widow, and my daughter wouldn't have a father. Spartan armor saved my life.
Finding the right CBD product for you can be tough. Just CBD has you covered. We offer the highest quality, most consistent CBD gummies on the market with soothing 100% organic CBD in every mouth-watering gummy. All of our products are lab certified and made in the United States using organically grown hemp. Each of our gummies gives you between 8 and 25 milligrams of soothing CBD. Enjoy all the benefits of CBD in our amazing line of gummies with Just CBD.
Oh, yeah. Excellent commercials. You are welcome for those commercials. Anyway, welcome back. My name is Steve. This is the third period of Wake Up America, where for the next 17 minutes, I will try to entertain you, except I went through the news too damn quick. Now the pre-workout is wearing off, and I'm losing interest in reporting the news. Anyway, you guys hear about the gas prices? I'm selling my truck tomorrow for a brand new Chevy Malibu, new to me. Payment is much cheaper, and I had a lot of equity in the truck, so, I figured, what the hell? Instead of 20 miles to the gallon like I've been getting in this big old rig, instead, now I'll get 37 miles to the gallon because there's going to be a lot of traveling in my future. Now I figure I have the motorhome, so I can use that to tow the trailer, so we're all good there. Anywho, today's national average from AAA is now up to $5.01. Which is finally broke that $5 a gallon, which, if you didn't know, is the highest national average gas price that we've ever had, ever in America. Thank you, Joe Biden. I mean, man, really, when you think about it, baby formula is gone. Like, is that like China, like, threatened to kill your kid if you had too many? Biden is threatening to starve them. I mean, what? What? Yes, I just compared Biden's America to China's America. China's China. Anyway, it's absolutely crazy. Obviously, the highest gas prices are in California, where the national or the state average is $6.43 per gallon. Arizona comes in at a sharp $5.31. New Mexico is at $4.82. But then Indiana and Illinois are coming in pretty high at $5.56 and $5.22 in Indiana. Virginia is still lower, $4.86. I think I just got 20 gallons in it because I'm not giving a truck full of gas when I trade in that sucker. So I just got $20, not 20 gallons, which was like a gallon. No, I'm just kidding. It was like 4. But I think I paid $4.69 a gallon at that place. Florida is now pretty expensive too, at $4.89 a gallon. South Carolina $4.67. North Carolina $4.67. Georgia's $4.48. I wonder where the lowest is right now. Diesel's also up as well to the national price. The highest recorded average price ever for diesel 577, which was yesterday. It did go down because it was 577, so it was 5.771. Today it's 5.770. So truckers, you got something to celebrate. You saved 1/10 of a penny today on diesel because it went down, but your national average is still higher than it's ever been before. And I don't think fuel prices or I don't think trucking rates are, I'm not even going to go into that right now, but I don't think they're going up. A year ago, average diesel was, regular gas a year ago was 307, which is crazy. Even in the past month, the national average was 443. So we are up 58 cents. Insane. They just keep going up, and they're going to go up and up and up and up and up until nobody can afford gas, and then we're all going to get electric vehicles that we can't afford, and the maintenance costs way more on. But who cares? Who cares, right? You can get a new like GM Bolt or whatever, until they all break down, and then we realize that it causes more pollution and more climate effect just to mine, the battery cells and lithium batteries. Who gives a shit? Right? Also in Texas and all across the country. I got to talk about Patriot Front, right? The feds. Have you guys heard about this? Where was it? In East Bumfuck, Idaho, a group of federales, as they say in Spanish, or in Mexico, federales, dressed up as white supremacists and packed into the back of a U-Haul van like they always do, and attempted, apparently, to disrupt a gay parade in East Bumfuck, Idaho. But apparently, have no fear, they had confidential informants left and right, and everybody knew it was going to happen, apparently. Even Ford Fisher, the notorious, not notorious, he's out there all the time filming, DC. He's DC bound. He's an independent journalist. He was even out there, too, and I was like, woo, he has some sources, doesn't he? But anyway, this group was ratted out by somebody, and police in full riot squad gear pulled over this U-Haul. It's almost like they knew it was going to happen, so they had all these riot cops and everybody there. They pulled over the U-Haul, they opened up the back, and boom, there's 31 white supremacists. They put them all out, they handcuff them all, and they arrest them, and they charge them with conspiracy to riot, which those charges are not going to stick because you can't prove that they were going. In fact, they could be like, look what we've done in the past, which is not rioting. The Patriot Front group, it's based on what they show online. Oh yeah, they're racist, white supremacists, scumbag nationalists, but I believe they're all feds. That's my personal belief. Or at least a lot of them are. That's, again, personal belief, because they always show up. They're never really, they're just always there. You know what I mean? They're always there. They go into Philly and they do their big photo op and they scare people and run around and they do this fast-paced march around the city, and then they pack back up into their U-Haul vans and they take off. And that's what they do all the time. They do it in D.C. They've done it in Florida. They've done it all across the country. And they all go and they convene and they do this thing and then they disappear. I've never really heard about them until we started hearing about them, and it fits a narrative right now. Everyone wants to talk about how white supremacists are everywhere, and the Proud Boys are all white supremacists, and Patriot Front, blah, blah, blah. They're all feds. Literally, all feds, all of them. And I would say all the Proud Boys are feds. I know several Proud Boys, but I would say, however, that the national president, ex-national president Enrique Tarrio, was a confidential informant for the FBI, which is known. Everybody knows that now. But anyway, it's crazy. It's crazy. That was, and apparently they were going to counter-protest at a gay parade, a pride parade. Is it not politically correct to say gay parade? Fine, pride parade, where men dressed up as women and frolicked in front of children, which is never going to be acceptable in my head. Again, talked about this last week. Couldn't give two shits if a guy likes to dress up as a chick. Don't care. It doesn't affect me. Do it in front of my kids, though. We're going to have some issues. You know what I mean? And that's the major issue with these pride parades. And you know what? I know this wonderful liberal that I'm married to, and I asked her, and I showed her some photos of pride parade. I don't remember. I think it was in D.C. or it was somewhere, or Texas or something. I showed her some photos or videos that I found online of pride parade, and I said, hey, do you see anything wrong with a group of people, marching up and down the street and dressed in, the opposite sex's clothing? She's like, absolutely not. And I said, how about this? And she's like, oh my God, is that real? Oh yeah, that's not right at all. And I'm like, exactly. Now you understand why a large part of America says that that's not rational behavior. Like the one guy, Elijah Schaefer, the big fat slob of a man that he captured. Elijah Schaefer is not a big fat slob of a man. The video that he captured of the big naked guy just walking, showing his butt crack and all that, just walking down the street with little kids right on I don't understand how anybody thinks that's acceptable stuff. But anyway, the gay pride, this is Pride Month, just in case you didn't know. I mean, how could you miss it? It's literally everywhere. Sports teams galore have changed their thing. Police cars now have the rainbow thing all over them, and more power to them. Again, doesn't affect me, doesn't bother me that much until they start walking around naked in the middle of the street in front of children. And just, if it was like a women's pride parade and it was a bunch of women walking down naked down the street, it would be the same exact thing. If kids are there, there's no reason for it. A lot of people disagree. They think, well, it's sexuality and it's so people can see stuff. Well, I don't even know. What is the rationale of being a grown-ass man walking naked down the street in front of children when you know children are going to be there? How is that acceptable? I would love to hear the rationale behind that. They could make the argument. Remember, I maybe 2 weeks ago, there was that article by the one news outlet. It's like, is it right to take your kid to a pride parade where there's going to be, overt sexual things and nudity and blah, blah, blah. And then the headline, the subtitle of the article was, yes, you must bring your children to these events. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I just don't understand. I just don't get it. And I suppose I'm never going to get it. But again, just for clarity, and this is just my point of view. It's not everyone else's point of view, and it's not the majority of my viewers' point of view. I don't care if a dude chooses to love another dude. I don't care if a dude dresses up as a girl. I don't care if a girl dresses up as a guy. I could give two shits about it, as long as they do it in their own home or in public while decently clothed. Like, I don't even care. I mean, I've seen dudes with beards walking around in dresses. It doesn't faze me. It doesn't affect me. In New Hampshire, when we lived there was a grown-ass man that had a full beard that walked around in, like, skimpy clothing and pantyhose pushing a baby stroller full of freaking bottle cans and shit like that. Beer cans and all that. Didn't affect me. Did I think it was weird every now and then? Yeah, but then it became normal. But he wasn't, like, exposing himself. He wasn't marching in a parade exposing himself to children, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. We have bigger problems, like our country falling apart every single day. But these parades and everything that we saw this weekend and the weekend before, man, it's crazy. Someone said, Steve has been in Walmart. They all go there. Yes, there's a lot of weird characters. Whatever happened to that? Like, there was a Facebook page for a long time. It was like people you see at Walmart or something. Oh my gosh, that was funny. That was such a great page. And I don't know, maybe it's still out there. I just haven't seen it. But it's just the whole thing is just really weird. And you know what's even worse? And I understand why everyone's broadcasting it, documenting it, and going out there and trying to be controversial and pick those things up, because a lot of people are saying it doesn't happen. But here's the thing is a lot of people are going and trying to attack those people for their lifestyle because they disagree with their lifestyle. And kind of, well, I mean, see, I'm countering what I'm going to say, because it's still fucked. Because here's the thing. It's like when I yelled at the person earlier today when we were doing the live stream of the hearings and we were waiting for it to start, and someone came in the chat and said something stupid or said that, the rioting at the Capitol was patriotic or something like that. And I lost my temper, because here's the thing is, if you lump yourself as that, I don't even know where I'm going. There's no fucking excuse for it. I don't care. Again, you want to dress up as a dude and you're a chick, more power to you. Do it in private. or dress like a normal person. You know what I mean? I just don't think anybody should be walking around in the nude in public in front of children. My personal belief. I know a lot of people disagree. My personal belief. Anyway, just coming up this week on the 15th at 10 a.m., we're going to have the third public hearing of the insurrection. Probably tomorrow during the day, we'll have a committee meeting or two. I'm not quite sure what's going on this week, but we'll bring you live events during the day and on social media. For the most part, make sure you have already subscribed to Citizen Stringer. If you go to citizenstringer.com right now, you'll see a bell somewhere on that page, or it'll say allow for notifications. Click that notification, because what I'm going to do now that I'm back, now that the kids, my wife is done with work, she's going to be able to watch the kids. I'll be here every day. We'll be getting this, back to how it is. And if there's a good hearing, but it's not social media worthy, like if I don't think it's going to be worth it to broadcast it on social media, it'll just be on Citizen Stringer and Citizen Stringer Radio, and you can watch it there. Obviously, the J6 hearings will air on social media as well. My show will air on social media. Pete's and Tilly's show does not air on YouTube or Facebook. He comes up following this show at 6 o'clock, 6 to 9 p.m. Then I'll replay this show. This show will replay at 9 p.m., 1 a.m., I think, and then 7 a.m. And that's the way we've been doing it. As long as I get it all done the right way. And so the next meeting is Wednesday. And I was thinking about going into DC, because if we didn't get a Roe versus Wade decision, I've heard that today and Wednesday are the days that they're putting out the opinions. And I was thinking about going into DC with a camera and documenting that. But I probably won't if I'm here covering the January 6th committee. And to be honest, I don't want to go walk around in 100-degree DC weather. I don't like it. I don't even like going outside here because it's 100 degrees. That's just how it is. But yeah, I think that's gonna just about do it. So just personal. Obviously, I shaved. I was thinking about going with a stash. A lot of people are like, "You should do it, Steve," and I'll still do it. If we raise like $10,000. Because I don't really want to do it. I do want to do it, but I think I'd get in big trouble with my wife. She was pissed that I even did this. She wanted me just to have the beard all about the same length, ½ inch. She was mad that I even did this, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. This is when I was an EMT before I got on to the fire department. It was like this when I was fresh out of EMT school, and it was a full-time EMT. I had the goatee, and then I kind of let it go, and then I joined the fire department, and I had to shave everything off. That's when I tried to do the stash, and I cut off the goatee and just did the stash, and I was in the firehouse for maybe 5 minutes, and the firefighters gave me a razor and said, "Go cut off the mustache." They were like, "You can't pull it off. Don't do it." But yeah. So also the new floor in our living room is down, almost all of it. We just have one strip where I have to cut the entire board all the way down. It's like 12 feet, but I have to cut the boards because it's only 3 inches instead of the 6. And that wears on you. That wears on you. So my body couldn't handle it anymore, and I was done. So we're gonna do that next Saturday. I believe Saturday is my birthday as well. I don't know. I think Friday is actually my birthday. You turn old. And then, yep. Other than that, Sunday, I'm going to a baseball game for Father's Day. It's not even a team I like, but whatever. The tickets were free. And, should be fun. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? Peace out later. Bye. Bye.